You're the boss.
We're going to get started in 30 seconds.
The November 23rd, 2020 meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Brew.
Here.
Mr. Brew is present. Mr. Delahanty.
Here.
Mr. Delahanty is present. Ms. Hassman. Ms. Hassman? I see Ms. Hassman's here, just unable to hear her at this point. Chairwoman Taylor?
Here.
Chairwoman Taylor is here. Mr. Wilcox?
Here.
Mr. Wilcox is here. Again, Ms. Hassman? Ms. Hassman's here, we're just unable to hear her at the moment. We can move on.
You will need to suspend the rules of the legislature for the purpose of prohibiting public in-person attendance in accordance with the Executive Order 202.1, which was extended through December 3rd by the Executive Order 202.72. You have a non-debatable motion on the agenda which needs to a maker and a second.
Legislator Brew, so moved.
Moved by Legislator Brew,
Second.
second by Legislator Delahanty. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The item carries. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There's one individual who sent in an email comment for the public forum. I'll go ahead and read that comment. The email comes from Kristen Flores Frado. As a local restaurant owner, I'd like to express my support for capping third-party fees for food delivery. These companies are predatory by nature, difficult to deal with by design, and opportunistic at the most difficult time in the history of our industry. At this point in the year of COVID, my husband and I should be considering using a delivery site to increase our restaurant's visibility and sales, but we find the fees prohibitive and greedy, and tactics used by some of these companies unacceptable and unethical. Under the guise of helping us and responding to public demand, my place was listed without our consent with an exorbitant delivery fee and a menu outdated by 5 years. The chaos this caused at my normally bustling restaurant was unforgivable. Trying to get our place removed from the site was even harder. Now, due to dining restrictions and our push to sell takeout, we are loath to deal with them when we could benefit from them the most now. I spend most of my working day seeking financial assistance while providing food to the community that is also seeking financial assistance. Tacking on outrageous fees to my food provider provides no service to anyone. And so I strongly encourage you to keep these predatory companies in check through legislation. So many restaurants both utilize and resent third-party sites, but feel they can't break away due to their reliance on them for a desperately needed sales. A cap on fees will be a boon to local business that are suffering terribly. On behalf of the broken restaurant community, I urge you to pass the bill. That concludes our public forum.
The next item on the agenda is the approval of minutes. You have the February 24th, 2020 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of day. Next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk.
Referral 20-0340, enact a local law entitled Gantz Law for utilization of minority and women-owned businesses.
Moved by
Legislator Brew,
Legislator Brew.
Second.
Seconded by- Is there any further discussion?
Do you want Legislator Flagler Mitchell?
Yes, Legislator Flagler Mitchell, would you like to comment?
Yes, thank you, Chairwoman Taylor. This bill is designed to give opportunities for WB.
Legislator, I don't mean to interrupt. We're having a little hard time hearing you. I'm not sure if other committee members are also struggling to hear you. It's a little bit better.
Can you hear
How
me
about now?
Yes, Legislator Hassman, I can hear you now.
How about now?
Go ahead, Legislator. Yes, that's better.
That's way better? Okay. Well, this bill was designed to give opportunities to minority businesses and female business to be able to bid and be able to learn the bidding process in the county. You know, and I am so excited to have this bill in place. However, I have sent the letter to Chairwoman Taylor as well as Ranking Member Justin Wilcox, asking for y'all to take it off the docket for tonight, just so that we can give the law department an opportunity to look at this bill and make sure that the language that we put forth is accurate and that, you know, it's smooth, it reads smooth. So I would ask for you all to take this bill off, and we want to give 30 days to the law department to look at this bill to give us the opportunity to make sure that it sounds right and look good. So thank you, Mrs. Chairwoman.
Legislator Brew, motion to table.
Or actually, it'd be to refer.
Legislator Brew again, motion to refer.
We actually won't need a motion if the chairwoman can refer something that's within her purview.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Clerk.
I did receive the letter from Legislator Flagler Mitchell last week requesting that we further review by the county law department. Therefore, I'm referring this item to the administration for review for no longer than 30 days. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, Mr. Clerk.
Referral 20-0341, a local law to establish a temporary limit on the charges imposed by third-party delivery services on restaurants during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Moved by,
Legislator Hassman.
yes, Legislator Hassman?
Yep, and a second.
Second,
And a second?
Legislator
Wilcox.
Wilcox, second.
Okay. Thank you. Legislator
Madam Chairwoman,
Barnhart?
Legislator Barnhart.
Legislator Barnhart, would you like to make any comments on this?
Legislator Brew, would you like to say something first?
no, go right ahead, Legislator Barnhart.
All right. Well, thank you very much for considering this proposal. Today we learned potentially hundreds of restaurants in Monroe County, all of them in my district, all of the restaurants in my district will have to close to indoor dining for the foreseeable future. Many of them, unfortunately, will never reopen. The orange zone designation by the state could spread to other areas of Monroe County. The pandemic, as we know, has put an incredible strain on these small businesses. Now, restaurants will have to rely on takeout and delivery only in the orange zones. When the pandemic began, consumers were already using smartphone apps like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and DoorDash to order food. It's become a habit. The pandemic accelerated this use as indicated by these companies' earnings reports. Consumers' habits have permanently changed, and this does have some important impacts on restaurants. Now, on the one hand, the restaurants rely on these apps for business, but the apps take a huge chunk of their revenue. Grubhub alone takes around 30%. Now, these small independent restaurants have no way to negotiate these onerous fees. What's more, consumers have no idea so much of their money is going to these delivery services. There's no transparency. So I'm proposing a temporary cap, 15% for delivery, 5% for takeout, on the commission fees charged by the apps. This will give much needed relief and protection to restaurants who are faced with a terrible choice: participate in the app economy or potentially lose business. Now, this will also give consumers transparency in what they will be paying when they use these apps. Now, I know that the third-party delivery companies want input into this legislation. They're calling around to legislators already. This exact proposal has been passed elsewhere, most recently Westchester County. I just read today the state of Washington a couple days ago did a 15% cap through a governor's order. It's my hope that we can work together on this proposal. Restaurants are counting on us, especially today. Thank you.
Thank you, legislator.
Madam Chairman, this is Legislator Brew.
Yes, legislator Brew.
Thank you, Madam
Go
Chairwoman.
ahead.
Thank you to Legislator Barnhart for bringing this matter forward and seeking ways to help small businesses amidst this pandemic. Since the submission of this legislation, I have spoken to parties on all sides of this issue: customers, restaurant owners, third-party delivery companies. These conversations have heightened my awareness of the procedures and impacts for restaurants that use third-party delivery services. Let me begin by describing the typical steps of restaurants offering items through third-party delivery services. A restaurant decides it wants to offer delivery/pickup service. To do so, this restaurant can either A, outsource this to a third-party delivery service, or B, offer this service in-house. Most restaurants opt for option A. This is for several reasons. In order to offer a comparable service to what is offered through third-party delivery services, restaurants would have to expand their staff, hire delivery workers, pay the insurance of these drivers, offer call ordering, or create an outsourced ordering program via phone applications or the internet, which would likely add additional staff and much greater administrative and operational costs to the business. On the other hand, they can choose option A, to outsource to a third-party delivery service that will cover these operations from start to finish. Upon choosing to outsource, restaurants agree to the terms and the rates of these third-party delivery services and can negotiate these rates or choose to selectively participate in certain providers. It is my understanding that some, if not all, third-party delivery services offer a variety of fee structures for restaurants to choose what works best for them. In the instance of varied fee structures, average order value, restaurant location, and much more are taken into account. Restaurants are able to choose from this variety of offerings and choose from public options, such as a simple pickup delivery program, to more integrated programs, including advertising and marketing. During the COVID-19 pandemic, third-party delivery services have sought out ways on how to help restaurants through these trying times. DoorDash launched their Main Street Strong initiative as part of this effort, which offers customers a DoorDash storefront, enabling restaurants create their own online stores at the click of a button. I also have serious concerns about what has happened in places where similar fee caps have been implemented. In speaking with stakeholders, they have seen order volume fall on an average of 6 to 12% in places where similar caps have been implemented, thus reducing revenue for both restaurants and third-party delivery services. In Jersey City, following the passage of similar delivery fee caps, one third-party delivery service immediately added a $3 fee for all customers and shrank the delivery status of local restaurants. $3 may not seem like a lot of money, but it could be the difference between someone completing their order and not. Further, I know that many of my constituents in Riga and the Wheatland areas frequently order from restaurants in surrounding areas, and this would greatly reduce their accessibility and options, given the potential for reduced radius of deliveries. I also strongly believe that one particular notion is often lost in these discussions. Third-party delivery service simply cannot exist without restaurants. Therefore, I do not believe third-party delivery services would seek to negatively impact restaurants, which are, in fact, their livelihood. I would always stand behind our local small businesses, but I don't believe I can support this legislation in its current state. Therefore, I move to table this item in order to further evaluate its impact and work with all involved stakeholders to see if there can be a common ground win-win-win solution for customers, restaurants, and delivery services alike. Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Second.
Moved by legislator Brew, seconded by legislator Delahanty.
Do we want a roll call vote, or?
Do you guys want a roll call vote?
Yes, please.
Yes, all right.
Okay.
On the motion to table, Mr. Brew?
Yes.
Mr. Brew votes yes. Mr. Delahanty?
Yes.
Mr. Delahanty votes yes. Ms. Hassman?
No.
Ms. Hassman votes no. Mr. Wilcox?
No.
Mr. Wilcox votes no. Chairwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Chairwoman Taylor votes yes. 3-2, motion to table is adopted.
Thank you.
Next item.
Next item on the agenda?
Referral 20-0356, confirmation of appointments to the Monroe County Board of Health.
Move it,
Moved by-
Mr. Chairman.
By legislator Delahanty, seconded by legislator Brew. Is there any discussion on this motion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? That item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the November 23rd, 2020 meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee now stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Agenda Charter Committee will be held on Monday, December 21st, 2020 at 5 p.m. Thank you.